Boom, 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 boom. Hello and welcome. I'm Shannon with Pick Up Is Vintage, and you are here joining me today because we are going to decorate the inside of our look at our little house. I went ahead and I put a bunch of decoupage paper, but it's meant to look like wallpaper. So I put in some faux floor, and now we are ready to decorate it. Can you see behind me? I have a couple of nutty friends. Today at 3 o'clock, I will be joining Lynn from LNJ Goods on the Pent Art USA page, and we are going to talk about, we're going to get nutty with some of these nutcrackers. We're going to be nuts for Pent Art. Anyway, real quick, what we are going to do, I just want to let me share my screen. There we go. So I have this mini book here. I bought this, at a estate sale a while ago. Oh, look. I have been creating all morning, and so my fingers are a little messy. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some of these like teeny books. This one, oh, it's a little Bible. It's super cute. See how miniature that is? But that's going to look perfect in our little home. And what I did was, I think I told you guys last week that I was going to be watching the Tim Holtz. He had a live with Simon Says Stamp about the 2025, all of his ideology, all of that fun stuff. He did a little curio cabinet. Well, I thought I would do my home, my house, kind of like the way he did his, but mine's obviously on a bigger scale. So what I want to show you is these are the books that he created. So look at this. He created a ton of them. They're super easy to make. Here's one up close. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's see. Let me put comments on. But I just think those are going to be adorable in the house. So also here on I did a mirror out of a little frame. See how cute that is? And then I have another one that we're going to add. We're going to make this into a picture frame. Like some scary person. We'll hang that in the house. And then this little piece of decoupage paper matches the wallpaper in the house. So we're going to make this into a rug. So why don't we do that first? Oopsies. I glue gunned my glue gun to my ink pen. All right, so let me push some of this out of the way. I have some old ephemera that we're going to be using in our books. This is from, look at that, October 15th, 1908. So that's what we're going to be using in our books today. I have all of these book covers, but we're going to push these to the side for a second. And we're going to do our rug. So I figured for the rug, because there's a little hole here on the bottom, that's generally for the light to come through. But for right now, we're just going to go ahead and we are going to create a little rug to cover it up. So this little piece of paper, it's a little bit uneven. So we're going to go ahead and cut this, and hopefully, I haven't used this thing in years. Hopefully it's going to cut. If not, I'll get out my scissors. I want to make it as straight as possible. All right. Oh yeah, works like a charm. We're just making all the edges as even as possible. This one is the only edge left. Okay. Okay, so here we have, now it's even and it's ready to go. But you know what? What do all rugs have? What do all rugs have? They have fringe, right? So I have this here. I'll turn my glue gun on. That's on. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to simply cut a piece, but look, and then glue it like this so it looks like fringe on the side of the rug, which will be cute. Let me start with this side. This side's already kind of, there we go. It's actually thicker, but I pulled it apart right here, so it's a little bit thinner. So that way it'll look better when we glue it on. It'll look more like fringe. So let's see, the glue gun is ready. And, oops, just gonna stick it right here. I'll glue this on, and then what I'll do is I'll just trim afterwards, the extra. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, scissors. Oops. Tell you what, that glue is sticky. Okay, cut this side. So see how that looks? Got a little fringe on that side. Do it again over here. Get that down into the glue. And now look, we have a beautiful rug, perfect for our spooky mansion. And you know what I'm going to do real quick? I'm just going to check on Facebook just to make sure that I am in the right place and I'm actually live, because I have gone live before and thought it was live and I wasn't live. So let me just log in here. See page. Yep, looks like I am live. Perfect. Okay. So then we'll put that right on our house. Hold on, let me get all these little extra glue things off. And then see, we can put it down right here. Even though the black kind of blends with the other flooring that's down here, the fringe, I think it looks perfect. Once I put a chair or something in there, it'll look super cute. Okay, so that's for that. So we'll just leave that there. And you know what I'm going to do real quick? Because I have so much stuff on my fingers, I'm going to put gloves on because... Ugh, there we go. Plus, this will help keep my hands from getting dirty further. So let's do the picture frame next. This, I'm thinking that we can make something pretty spooky. You know, I have all of these fun things from Tim Holtz. Like, we're still going to be putting these two little guys in there somewhere, whether I cut them apart, but definitely want to, I'm going to add some color to, add color to their shirts, because I just don't think that's colorful enough. But then I also found these little guys. Look at these guys. Now, how cute would that be if I could find a bench and then, you know, be able to put them sitting on the bench, fold it so it looks like they're sitting on the bench. That'll be super, super adorable. All right. I have so much Tim Holtz that I don't even know where all my stuff is. So we're going to look for a little... Oh, that's right. We had talked about using this one. This one's kind of maybe just taking one of the girls and putting her in there. Oh, I love that. Okay, so that's a contender. Yeah, let's just go with that one. Love it. And then we'll have to decide if we want to make the frame gold, if we want to do it silver. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to I need to make sure that I only get one of the little girls in here. I don't want the other girl, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. That was just a total guess. That's just to get it started. And now I'm going to put it in here. And now I'm going to just, I'm going to use this little tool here to kind of push it down and get a more definitive edge where I can cut. There we go. So now that should fit perfect. So look at that. Isn't that fun? Okay. So I'm going to use the collage medium by Distress. Hey, Shelby. Thank you. I am thoroughly enjoying creating this. Um, it's a lot of fun. I love miniatures. As a matter of fact, I have bought an old vintage dollhouse that I need to put together, and I got a 3D printer, so I'm going to be making all kinds of stuff for it. And then I was at an estate sale, and I found little rooms. One is like a bakery, and one it just has so many little miniatures. I am so excited to go through that and play with it. And of course, it just needs to be cleaned and everything, but it's super cute. I'm going to put pictures up. So because this is thicker, I don't want to use the decoupage, so I'm going to use a collage medium. It's a little bit thicker. We're just going to put some down. Boom. Put our little girl on here. And this is really thick. I wonder if, I know some of the other things you can pull apart. I wonder if we could pull this one apart, just so it makes gluing it on a little easier. There we go. Let's see if we can pull this off here. Seems like everything in these collections are layers. So yeah, I'm able to pull this apart. So it's not going to be as thick. So I'm just going to go slow because I don't want to tear the little girl. There we go. Okay, so I'm taking a layer off, so that'll help with getting her on here and laying more flat. Come on. Yep, it's the surface that I'm putting her on is rounded. She is just not one. There we go. Now she's cooperating. Maybe she doesn't want to be part of the spooky house, which could be. Of course, you know, so I'm calling it spooky, not haunted. All right, so let's. There, I love it. Oh, nice. Yes. Oh my gosh. If you make those, Shelby, you have to. Let me put that up here. You have to tag me. I want to see what you create. You know what? That etching cream is so easy to use, and it's perfect for gifts. Perfect for gifts. All right. I'm just going to apply a little bit more pressure, making sure. I guess I should have maybe hot glued it. There we go. So we're going to set this aside for just 1 second. Actually, I'm going to give her one more coat. And then what I can do is I can always put the pouring glaze on top if I want. That'll just give it make it look like it's bubbled glass because this is arched. Get on there. Okay. Because, you know, like a lot of the old antique frames that, like pictures that you've seen, all of the glass was like, it was beveled. It was all, you know, arched. And I love when I find an original one at an estate sale, I always buy it. Well, up to a certain limit though, price. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. Meanwhile, I've got more glue in my other hand. All right, you might hear a little bit of construction outside. We're having a patio and some stairs put in down to the fire pit, and they're out there grading and pouring the concrete. And it's just, I have a little window here, so it's right outside here. Okay, so look at my nutties. I'm so excited to get nuts with Pentart today. We are going to talk about what we're going to do. And I tell you what, it's going to be huge because if you follow along and play along, trust me, you're going to want to because you might get some stuff. All right, let's talk about these books. These books are just amazing. I'm going to put this book here. In the Tim Holtz ephemera pack, the new one for 2025, I know you got a lot of books. I think this is the one from 2024. So I think there's 10 different books in this one. So the hardest part is picking out which one you want to use. But I like this one. Look at that. It just looks like an old book. This one too. So actually, take that glove off. Look at that. That one I did not make. That one I bought. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, I have a little straight edge ruler and it has a pointy side. I'm going to, we're going to use this one. And I'm just going to bend on that straight line here. Because I want to make sure that when I do this, it's straight. There's that one. And now I'm going to do it on this straight line. That creates the spine. So now we have, look, like a little book cover. Love it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the way that I learned from the Tim Holtz and Simon Says Stamp one. Where did I put my ephemera? Oh, here it is. So we're gonna use this piece here. Now he says it doesn't matter if which way your letters are going. It just matters that you have the books in there because I guess nobody's really gonna read them. But if you do create one that you want to have open, I have seen that. It looks really cool. Then you're definitely going to want your words to go the right direction. So the first thing we need to do is we need to measure this. So I'm going to start on this fresh edge here. And maybe I should I want to cut it where the words are. So let me grab my cutter again. I'm going to make a clean edge. I feel kind of bad. This paper is from 1908, but you know, makes perfect ephemera. Straight right there. And now I'm going to create a line here of how long the pages need to be and how wide. One line here. And he did a little different. He had a template, but I'm just going to do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way down, and then I can fold it here. Actually, the line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little hash marks over. So I'll be able to cut a few. Get in there. Actually, I'm going to go this way. So it's 5 hash marks. 1, 2, 3. Actually, you know, that's probably not a good idea. I should probably do it this way. It's 1 1/4 inch. Let's do it that way. Let's make sure, not 5 cubed. Let's give it the name it's supposed to be, 5 1/4. Or 1 1/4. Because here, on here it has 1, and I'll do 1 1/4. Line it all up. Push down, and give it a cut. And I probably could have figured this out easier if I would have just gone 1 1/4, 2 1/2. If I did some math ahead of time, but that would have been too easy. I think I'm only going to need 2 of these strips because they're double wide. Because for today's sake, we're only going to make 1 book. All right, just to be sure, I'm going to make sure I mark this again of how tall the pages should be. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flat ruler again, the one that has the point on it. And I'm going to bend it right on the line. Bend it. And then you just pick it up. You don't bend it around, but you just bend it and then pinch it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the way back. Oops. Look at, see, it's so old, it's falling apart here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just tear that here and save that to put in my book and then do it again. Some of them, let me just make sure there's not any more tears. It is it's old, so it might not be as, sturdy as newer paper would be. All right, let's do that again. So I'm going to just crease it there, pick it up and pinch it. And then now I have a guide of how long it needs to be. So every time I can just, I'm matching it up to the previous right here. See that right here? And I'm not folding it over. I'm just creasing it here and then picking it up and pinching it. And the trick is to make it accordion. So you want it to go back and forth. So I need to make sure that I'm doing that correct. Oops. All right. So bending it, pinch it up, flip it over, bend, pinch it up. And so these will take a little bit of time to make, but I feel with the real pages, the real, it just looks so much nicer. Has anybody made these before? I'm thinking the template that he had works probably a little easier, but this is not working too bad at all. And just so you know, it's not going to stay accordion. We do cut it apart, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I just need to get all my pages done. Pick it up, flip it. Make sure I straighten that out just a tad. Fold, pinch. Fold, pinch. Oh yeah, that's looking cute. Now some of them I've seen just have so many pages. But I can definitely see how, it's a little tedious to do this, but in the end, the outcome is definitely worth it. Again, remember, we're not folding it over. We're just using the edge of the ruler as a crease. Then we're picking up and pinching it. Okay, so that one's done. Now we have a little bit extra here, so we're going to go ahead and just cut that off. And then put that in our stack. So it's coming together, but not nearly enough. Not nearly enough to fill that. So we got to do that a little bit more, but that is going to be the cutest little book. Now this one is torn here. So I'm going to see if I can fold it anyway. I'm going to measure it from the other one. So right here. crease, pinch. Yeah, that would be nice if you could actually buy pages that are already pre-made, and maybe you can, I just don't know about it, but definitely, if I knew it was going to take this much time, I probably would have had a few of these already folded and ready to go. There's where the tear is, so I want to be careful right there. Pinch. All right, so we're going to do this one, and then we're going to go ahead and put the book together. I think that should be enough. Oops, so this part just came off, or it's coming off. Very fragile. Very fragile. So the guys are working on the concrete, and they did the stairs down to the fire pit, and they finished that this morning. So I took my dog, little Dodger. Some of you may have seen him in some of my pictures. Put his little paw print in the concrete. The poor little guy. He's got he's a Labrador, but he's got dwarfism, so he's had all kinds of health issues. He's got turned in legs, and he went blind last year. It's just poor little guy. But you know what? He's one of the happiest dogs you'll ever meet. Just has a good spirit. Very nice. Oops. Okay, so that just tore. That was right on. There was another tear there, so we're gonna finish this one up. So anyway, I put his little paw print in the cement this morning, so that's cute. Because when they have health issues like that, they don't live quite as long. So he's just a sweet puppy. So we want to make sure we got his little foot in there. Okay, almost there. All right, so we're going to cut that extra piece off. Hold on, this is not quite lining up. All right, so now we're going to stick them all together. And then what we're going to do is kind of, he said, make sure you get it. One side should be flat. So but you bang it, push it left and right, and make sure you get like a flat, even edge, as even as you can get it. Put my glue gun on for this. Let's see, get this. All right, so now I'm going to take one of these little clips, and you're going to clip your book pages together so that way they won't move. And then what you do is you're going to take your hot glue, and you're going to kind of stick it into the pages. And the trick is you put it here and you drag it until it gets smooth, because what it does is it pushes that hot glue in between the pages, and it creates a bond where it's not going to come apart. And it should be flat. It'll be flat. Okay, so Now, looking at this one's just not gonna cut it for this book. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a thinner one. Here we go. Here's a thin one. So this one has a thinner spine, so I'll go ahead and cut that one because this one will fit in there better. Let me just make sure. Yep, the page is going to fit fine. So let's go ahead and just fold this one. I don't want to spend another 10 minutes folding more pages right now. I want to get to more stuff on the little fold once there. Fold once here. Yes, so this one has a thinner spine, so this one's going to fit way better in there. Now, we don't want the inside of the book to be white, so we can either take our ink pad, or we can use one of the crayons, you know, and decorate behind it. But we're just going to take our ink pad. And I'm just going to push the edges just to give it kind of a distressed, some color to it, so that the inside will look like that. So that way, if you have any of the area of the extra books showing through, you can see it looks like that, rather than bright white. All right, now we're going to stick a little bit. Let's see. I need to get another glue stick. Right here. There we go. So we're going to put just a little bit of glue right down. Whoops. Got a little bit on there. Pull it off real quick. Got a little bit on the outside too, but we'll just leave that for now. I'm going to stick this right in there. And unclip it. It's not done yet, but look how cute this is. Let me actually zoom in a little bit so you can maybe even see better. See the little book? All right, so now what we need to do is, because these were accordion, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut those. Let me get my smaller scissors. Maybe these will work better. There we go. So I can go into each one, or I can just simply cut the edge. You don't want to cut all the pages at the same time. So we'll start in the back. And then you can just get rid of that extra. But see, what it's going to do is it's going to open up all of the pages so there won't be accordion. Whoops. Couple more. There, that one, when you flip through it, now it looks like it has all individual pages. And if you have one that sticks out a little bit far, this is the first one we did when it started to break because the paper was so fine. I'm going to go ahead and cut that back a little bit. It's a little bit longer than the other pages. There we go. Nice. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ink. We're just going to ink the edges just to give it that old, oops, old look. Ta-da! And now we have our own little mini book. Huh, I love it. Okay, let's zoom out again. Oops, wrong way. So eventually I'll be making more of these. And hey, Colleen, these we'll put in, let's see, in here. What I'll probably do is I'll make some kind of like a table and then put those on there, maybe with a little candlestick and some other fun things. And like the little mirror we'll put up here or on this wall here. All right, so now what we got to do, we've done the rug, we've done the book. Now we're going to finish our little picture frame, and maybe she'll go here. Or we could put her up here, or we could put her on a side wall. But what we need to do with this is we are going to, oh, it's so cute. We're going to need to do the gold frame. Now this color here is antique gold. We're going to do this in regular gold. Well, no, maybe we'll do it in gold. I don't know. So we're going to use a little bit of a pigment fix. And I just have one of these extra things here. And it's just a piece of plastic, just a place to mix. So I'm going to take a little bit of the powder. Hey, Luann. I'm going to put a little bit of the powder. Like, I don't even need that much. This stuff goes so far and has such good coverage. I don't want to waste all that. So I'm going to put some back because you'd be surprised at how far this stuff goes. And I'll grab a brush. I need one that's going to be small enough to go on those edges. Let's do this one. That should be good. So I'm going to take very little pigment fix and mix it in there. Like I said, I don't need that much. There we go. Oops, that might be too much. We'll give it a little mix. A little goes a long, long way. And if you ever mix it and you're painting it and it doesn't give you good coverage, it's just because you didn't add enough pigment. Just go back and add a little bit more pigment and you'll be fine. Oops. Got a little bit on her. All right, so let's go ahead and just paint. Look at that, though. Look how beautiful that is. This is also the product of the week on the Pentart USA page. The metal pigment has actual little pieces of metal in there, and that's why you get such great coverage when you're painting this. Let's zoom in just a little bit. And this is just the right touch for adding the antique or the spooky look on here. All right. Gonna just go ahead and do the sides real quick. And what's nice about it also is the paint, it dries fairly quick too. There we have it. Wow. So now we have not only a antique mirror to hang, we also have a scary little portrait. All right. So today we created the rug, we created the mirror, and then we created, which my favorite, I love this. I'm going to have to make more of these books. I've always wondered how they made it, but after watching Tim Holtz's live with Simon Says Stamp, I learned, I love it. I've seen sometimes where they take, they just take some chipboard and they wrap the book around it. But that is not the same. That is not the same as this. Especially, like if I wanted to create something and leave the book open, like with a wider spine. Of course, I would have my words run the other way, but I've seen it and it looks so cute. They'll stand up or you can lay them down. Yeah. All right, so let me see. I think for right now, that's about it. I do want to, I have some other elements that we're going to be adding. Like I have the little planting urn. We'll put some moss in it and maybe a pumpkin. So we do have stuff to decorate. It's just that I want to make sure all of the accessories are made first before we start that. And I have where is it? I have this mold. It has a little bookshelf, but I think that's going to be too little for in here. But it's super cute. It's got books, brooms, some decorations that would go on it. I'll have to see. It might fit. It might fit in there. Yeah, let me see. Let me show you. So, yeah, that might work. Luann, yes, it is 3:00 for Pentart today to talk about the nutties. Yes, 3:00. She is scary, right? Oh my gosh. I love her. But going back to this, so like look how cute that'll be right here on, let me get my big fat hands out of the way. Like no. There we go. So here that'll be cute. And then maybe put the mirror downstairs by the front door where you headed out. And I do have other scary elements, but like gravestones, those can be put on the outside. Let me zoom back out so you can see all this stuff. And I do have like some of these old vintage. I have the pumpkin or the cat. So, and of course, I have a ghost. So maybe we'll have to put the little ghost in here. We get some time to play. I just want to make a few more things, but we're not going to do that now because I think I'm done. I have to get prepared for these guys, the guys behind me. So, thank you for joining me. If you're watching the replay, make sure you put #replay and tell me what you like the best. Did you like the book, the mirror, the rug, or the scary lady? All right, you guys. So I don't know if I might just have this done and just take pictures because I might not be able to wait to finish it. But I also have some cheesecloths, which I think would make some great old curtains. But we'll see. If I do it, I will film it and I'll throw it up on YouTube. And of course, I'll let y'all know. And I'll put pictures on Facebook. Okay, so if you haven't yet, follow Pentart USA on Facebook. And today we're going to talk about the Great Pentart Nutcracker Challenge. All right, so thanks, Colleen. I love the book.